What's up, everyone? How's it going? I'm gonna do a quick Total War League Season 15 predictions video. I figured since we actually know what all the matchups are gonna be, I think it'd be kind of fun to just like try to predict everything at the very start, and then maybe after the season, I can like do a rundown, see how accurate I was. Um, Basically, the reason I want to do this is I think like with some matchups being kind of unfavorable, uh, you know, unbalanced per se. It'll mean that even if the skill level of players is slightly different or also unbalanced, the unbalancing of the factions can make up for that. So it'll be kind of interesting to predict and see if like people can overcome the faction imbalance, or if players can make use of the faction imbalance to like get some maybe upset results or whatever. Um, so I have in Paint, Paint.net actually. I have all the games. Starting here, this is week 1. Week 1, week 2, week 3, and then playoffs. Fuck it, I'll predict who gets into playoffs. Maybe after that, I'll just predict who wins as well. So I'm gonna make a green thing, some opacity, and so okay, you can barely see that. Yeah, perfect. So I'm gonna put green, and then over here I'll put red. Actually, I don't need to do that. Just wherever the fucking green is who wins. Okay. So, and if the matchups are interesting, I'll kind of just maybe I'll go into them in room 2. I have it open, and we can talk about it a little bit. But okay, so starting first matchup here, Rinsler versus Grozny. Armenia versus Pontus, just hard for Pontus, so I'll just take Grozny. He also is a finalist from last season. Does Rinsler see? This is the interesting thing, right? Armenia is strictly better than Pontus, but I would say Grozny is probably a bit better than Rinsler. So does he come back and take as Armenia? I'm gonna say no. All right. But that's close. I think Rinzer could take it as Armenia. Tillis versus Parthia. This is just fucked for Tillis, but you can box. I'm gonna say this is a 1-1. Maybe Bubbles will have some problem with this matchup, but I think it's still winning on these rules. I don't think there's very much for Tillis to do because they don't have good enough spears, and tribals are not really great because they're low attack against Kev. Okay, moving down the list. Massilia, Armenia, Ragnar wins. I think Ragnar will just 2-0 this. I don't think Fight Me will be very good with Armenia, personally. Me versus Aldred. This is actually a good matchup. This is one of the. I'll label in red, in pink, secondary pink matchups that I think are cool. And this is definitely one of them. I'll put it over here. Actually, I can just put it in. Like this matchup, I think is cool. Maybe we'll go revisit these at the end. But I think I'll 2-0. I think I'll 2-0 it because I think it's actually a balanced matchup. But it's a cool matchup, so I put pink. All right. Next up, Massilia versus Bactria. Obi versus Ulda, one of the better matchups, one of the ones I'm most interested to see. I think this is a 1-1 with Bactria winning both sides. So I don't think Massilia has great units against Bactria. Their cap's too light. Pace Lancer is not really a good option there. Masaisley Parthia, it's winnable for Masaisley, but Parthia is better. Ragnar definitely wins as Parthia. As Masaisley, can he overturn the deficits? Yeah, I'll say sure. Sure. Do it. He's not a huge Miss Saisley fan, but this could be interesting because the Javcab are quite strong. Just you have to deal with the cataphracts somehow. It's not really great, but it's winnable. Me versus Acera, Armenia Galatia, definitely playable. Armenia is probably better. Uh, I'll give Acera the benefit of the doubt and say he takes it as Armenia, and I take it as Armenia as well. Galatia not the best barbarian for fighting against cataphractions because their spears are a bit worse. Fight Me versus Ultrade. Boya is just too strong here. Boya should win both sides of this pretty comfortably, I think. It's like interesting, but I just don't see a way for Miss Aisley to play this really. If it even against like Arverni, I think it's tough, but Boya is just another level. Massilia versus Arverni. Arash versus Ultra, good matchup in terms of players. Interesting matchup in terms of factions, but I just think Arverni, sorry, is just stronger here. We'll go to the right here. We'll wait on week 2. So now Galatia Boya, this is just a classic. Comes down to the better player here. I think it's just gonna be a 1-1. I'll have Boya winning both sides because I think it's slightly better and easier to play. I don't think Galatia is too much weaker, but I'll give him a 1-1 here. Maybe otherwise I would pick 2-0 Altered, but I'll give Rinsler the benefit of the doubt with Boya. Galatia Rome, another pink. Yes, it's like the same thing kind of as like Boyai Rome and Boyai Arverni and Arverni Rome and Glacier Boyai and Glacier Arverni, but it's like the one that gets played the least, I would say. And I think it's actually really interesting because you think about it, both sides have those Syrian archers, both sides have like limited cav. Yes, Rome can take more cav technically, but they really are relying on their 2 shot cav. And the other, Galatia's relying on the 2 Cappadocians, so it becomes kind of interesting there. Galatia's slightly better here, I would say, than Rome, because they can cheap slingers and they have better Jav Cav, and I don't know that you would take Jav Cav, but yeah, Galatian Legionnaires are like pretty much balanced with Avocado. Avocado's slightly better, but Galatian Legionnaires are quite a bit cheaper. Not quite a bit, but 90 cheaper or something like that. So I'll take Bobby on both though. I think he's just better, but I think this matchup's really good. Tillis Bactria again, kind of like Parthia versus Tillis. It's hard for Tillis to play against the Cav, but they're not Cataphracts this time. I'll have Olda 2-0ing this, but I think it's probably a matchup that favors Bactria. Saba versus Rome. This is just very hard. Like usually I would give myself a 2-0 here, but I think Grozny can probably. Sorry, I gotta. You're gonna see this. Fuck, whatever. Here we go. Okay. Right. So Saba Rome, very tough for Rome. Don't really see how Rome can take this. It's on Nemesis Sen as well. There's on Region. You can camp in the forest. I'll give Grozny the benefit of the doubt that you can take this as Saba. Otherwise, I'm winning this 2-0, but I'll give it a 1-1 for now. Ragnar versus Acer, Kush Arverni. I'll give this. I'm not gonna give this a pink. I don't think this is actually a very good matchup. I think Kush is just weaker here, but I think Arverni will just take both sides of this. Good matchup though, especially players wise. Really interested to see that. Arverni Pontus. Now this is going to be a pink. I think Pontus is stronger, but because they can't spam 8 horse archers, they can only take 4 horse archers. It's playable for Arverni to just play a box. Pontus doesn't have katas. They have good shot cav, but not katas. So definitely playable. I think Olda definitely takes this as Pontus. I think Olda 2-0s this to be honest, because I would say that it's easier to play this as Arverni, but I think Olda will win as Pontus. Actually, nah, never mind. Changed my mind. Maybe I'll get punished for that. I got Arverni winning both sides, even though I think Pontus is actually the stronger faction. I think the box cannot sometimes not be denied for Arverni. It's a little strong, and you have to really play this like really precisely as Pontus. But I think Pontus is technically stronger, but harder to play. So I'll give Arverni winning both sides of this actually just on the pure infantry spam, box potential. Okay, this is the bad matchup here. This is just unwinnable for Kush, literally. Unwinnable. They just have so little anti-cav, and all their best units are just, well, maybe the armored Chotels are okay against cav, but like the disciples are bad against cav, and Saba Cavs will just roll you here. So unwinnable, I think, for Kush. And unfortunate, Rome versus Boyai. Rome, this is a decent matchup. I'd say Boyai is a bit stronger here. I think I'll take both sides though, on the basis of better play. But Arash could definitely win his Boya here. It's quite close though, so I think I'll be able to get it done. And now Arash versus Grozny. Parthia, Bactria. Me and Ragnar played this TWL season 5, maybe 5 or 7, in the semis or finals. And obviously it's quite hard for Bactria to win this, but definitely possible. I'll have Parthia taking both sides of this. Pretty straightforward, I think. Parthia, just a better cav. Um, right now week 2 on Rugion. RDISC, Pink. Pink. This was played between Moore and somebody, I think. Moore and somebody in one of the seasons. Very interesting. You'd think IC has a big upper hand here, and maybe they do, but Or yeah, can come up with some stuff. They have that infantry spam advantage, but the mid tier and noble advantage is in the favor of Iceni. But if you take nobles, they're gonna get shot by marines. The Tarentines are a fucking nightmare for Iceni to deal with. It really depends on how they use their cav, but really good matchup, and I get to play in it, so that's good. I think I'll take both sides. I think I'll take the both sides on the basis of better theory in the matchup, but could be close. I think Rinsler has probably good chances with Iceni against me, but I think I'll win. Lusitania versus Athens. I'm gonna give this like a minor pink, okay? I'm kind of interested to see how this plays out. I think Athens should just win, but Lusitania with like six slingers or something could have a chance as well. It's really gonna be a full kite here. I think Ragnar will win. Oh wait, it's against Olda. I'll have Lusitania winning both sides of this, I guess. I don't think. Actually, yeah, I think I'll have Lusitania winning both sides of this, just rushing Athens down. But that's not to say that I think Lusitania is actually maybe stronger. I think it's actually pretty close. Just I have a bit of pink there, but I'm not quite sure. I honestly don't know. So hard to say. That's why I'm a little bit interested. Swaby versus Syracuse, Sarah versus Bobby, another big matchup in terms of players. But I do think this is tough for Syracuse. I just have Swaby stealing the show and 2-0ing this with the fast charge. Syracuse, slow units, can't really get cheap units. It's a big problem. They could try to kite, but I think Swaby should have answers for that in general. But I would like to see Syracuse try to kite, and I would like to see Swaby take like 6 Jav Cav against a kite and see how that game would play out. I think that would be really fun to watch. Just like really spread out battle. The fast charge always in play. I'm gonna put a pink here if that happens. Otherwise, if it's just like an infantry spam battle, I think Swaby just wins, and it's not very interesting. Next up, Carthage versus Selly. Again, kind of interested to be honest. Kind of interested to see what happens here. I'm gonna have uh I'm gonna have actually I'm gonna have Grozny 2-0ing this. No offense to Ultra, of course, but I this is maybe a bit of a risk. I'm not sure who's stronger here, so it's really gonna become a question of who brings better armies against the opponent's armies. I'm not sure even what the theory is for either faction off the top of my head, so kind of interested to see that go down. Nabatea Sparta, kind of a meme. I'll just have Nabatea winning both sides of this pretty easily. Sparta just too cringe. I think it's actually playable for Sparta. It's just like not fun. Like you have to take like 6 Tarentines or maybe even 8 Tarentines. But it's just Sparta is so cringe. I can't imagine them winning this. Arvasi versus Macedon. I think Macedon's just better here. Macedon will win both sides of this because I don't know how Arvasi's stopping Thessalians, but I'm with Javcav in play as well. Yes, they have nice mid tiers, Arvasi, and yes, they could go for like a kite, but against Thessalians, I'm not sure that's like the best idea. I can see Arvasi winning this, but I think with these guys playing Macedon is going to be stronger here, so I think Macedon will take that. Pergamon versus Colchis, actually interesting. Pergamon maybe gets a lot of hate, but against Colchis, a faction that has to bring, they don't have cheap infantry, right? And their force archers are going to get countered by the Tarentines. The Galatian swords actually will be very valuable here because yes, they die to the Cartly X-Men stuff, but they're cheap and they're spammable. Vultures cannot spam infantry, it's one of their biggest weaknesses. All their infantry, except for Hillmen, which suck, are quite expensive. So I actually think this will be close. Maybe this will be my, I mean, I think Bobby, no, I think, yeah, I'm gonna actually have Pergamon 2-0ing this. Maybe it's a big upset. Pergamon 2-0ing that. Odrysians versus Epirus is unwinnable. Epirus should dominate this, and with two good players in Ulda and Sir, I'm sure they'll both handle business. Seleucus versus Mastodon, a Diadachi matchup, so always fun to have Diadachi, but I don't know who's better, honestly. Mastodon Selly, man. I think Mastodon is better units, general. Selly can go for Kaito, which could be pretty good. Gonna have It's thorax swords on thorax swords. Yeah, I'm gonna give this Seleucids 2-0. I think the slingers are too powerful against Macedon. The Thessalians are a good bonus, but they will just start to melt by slinger fire and like cataphracts and stuff. So I'm gonna give that to Sully. Kind of interested to see what happens in this, just like how it gets played. Because again, you're seeing a lot of matchups that like in theory could be even, but people will never pick them because there's just not enough data on it, I would say. So um yeah, I'm gonna roll with that. Interested to see what happens. Also two good players, Arash and Kobe, so should be good. Samaria and Nervii. Kind of interested to see what happens here as well. Because Samaria will Nervii is not really great against the kite, but they have their own Javcav. I think Samaria is just better, if I'm honest. Like a full kite, Samaria should just win. Especially because the Mighty Horse are only medium, which means the Lancers, the cheap Lancers, can actually like not get owned by them. I'm gonna have Samaria 2-0ing this. Even though I think both these players would probably prefer to play Nervia, I think Samaria is just better here. But I'm really interested to see how it plays, so I'll put the pink there. Quite a few matchups so far that maybe I don't think are like really good. Like I think this matchup, Pushtilis, Rome Galatia, Pontus Arverni, these matchups are like things that, and to some degree, RDI Iceni are kind of matchups, and Pokemon Cultures are matchups that I would be like interested to play. But then there's a lot of them that I'm just interested to see what the people choose to do, like Lusitania Athens, Carcelli, Sumerian Nervii. Like maybe I'm not thinking these are like the most balanced matchups, but I just want to see how the meta would evolve for those matchups. Galley versus Egypt. Galley should just be stronger here. I think I think Rinsler will get the dub with Galley, and Ulta should do the same. Egypt is okay, but Galley just has more game. I think Egypt should struggle against the Cav and the Archers and the HA especially. They can bring Tarentines, but if you bring Tarentines, you just start running out of other units to support your Galatian Royal Guard. And I think Geta just has better support. The Axe Warriors especially. No match for the Axe Warriors in Egypt's arsenal. Odrysians versus Egypt. Actually interested to see how this plays out. I think Egypt will win both sides, but surely there's some like potential for Odrysians here. Egypt, like if Egypt goes for an actual melee war, I think Odrysians can win. Because Egypt has no good like mid tiers. Um, but if the kites can Odrysians handle that, I'm not sure. But I think Egypt will 2-0, but again, interested to see if that's possible. Bobby, of course, getting that Odrysian matchup is kind of a meme. But yeah, we'll see. Seleucids versus Lusitani. Ragnar versus Ultra. I think Ragnar will 2-0 this. But again, could be interesting. Nervia Epirus. This is actually a good matchup. Put the pink there. I think Asera will win 2-0, but I think it's actually a good matchup. Stopped like highlighting the whole row apparently. Just highlighted the names after the first group. But here I didn't even highlight their names. Same thing here. Yo, I'm dumb. Which makes it harder to follow, I think. There we go. Okay, moving on. Iceni versus Sparta. There's just no way Sparta ever wins this, ever. Athens versus Macedon. This is like pretty clear cut. Macedon's just stronger. Should have won one. It's sad that me and Ragnar have to play this. Like Athens, I have some ideas for this matchup, but I think Macedon's just like a straight upgrade pretty much, so it should be kind of hard for them to do anything. For Athens to do anything there. Epirus versus RDA. This should be pretty clear cut. Epirus should win. Just take slingers, Thessalians. Arvasi Sparta again. This should be pretty cut. Arvasi. All right, there's the first one. Let me save this. What's it called? TWL. Okay, going on to the final week on pyramids. By the way, this was on Rugen. I guess I didn't really take that into consideration, so it's kind of dumb. Let me just quickly check. RDA Sydney doesn't matter. Lusitania Athens could matter. Swavy Syracuse. Oh, it's too bad this is on Rugen. Should be on normal map. Carcelli doesn't matter. Novitate doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. could matter. Just could matter. Jason Deppers, Silly Mac, probably not. Could kind of though. Nervous Samaria, oh yeah, this is big. Nervous Samaria because of the freeze, kind of cringe. Get out Egypt, not really. Egypt or Drusines could matter. It could matter for a few of them, but just gonna leave it. Pyramids, week 3. We're gonna play Syracuse versus Nabatea. Syracuse should just win, but Nabatea has some chances, but I think doing the same thing then. At the players, I think Rinsler and Bowie will just both win with Zurich. Samaria Pergamon, good matchup. I think Olda will 2-0 though. That's a good matchup. Carthage versus Swaby, another good matchup. I think I'll 2-0. Colchis RDA should be like. I think Ragnar will 2-0, but I think Colchis is better. Actually, it's a pretty good matchup. Me and someone were playing this to test for the con. Or was it the con? Probably was the con. Yeah. Don't know about with these rules though. I think that just benefits Colchis more. Arvasi, Getai. Matchup of the final last year. And I think Sarah will 2-0. I think it's a good matchup though. Like Pergamon versus Getai. This should be won by the Getai of both sides. Samaria Carthage. Also really interesting because Samaria Carthage doesn't have cheap missiles to really hold back Samaria. But so they can just rush here, I think, and win. Could be interesting though. Right, interesting. Sally Mac again. What did I say last time with Sally Mac? I said Sally double. But I think a Sarah will just 2-0 this. Probably. Gadaisini. I'm not going to put a ping here because it's already like a known decent matchup. I think Gadai's just better though with 8HA or 6HA or whatever. Oh yeah, I haven't been taking into account the fact that there's a new rule 6 max same unit. Don't think this will really affect. It might affect like Rome matchups like, quite a bit. Rome, Oyai, those factions. But I don't think it's like a huge thing. I'll just keep it here in general. Syracuse versus Carthage. Carthage is much, much better here. Yeah, enough for both Carthage to win, I think. Aravasi versus Egypt. This was like a really funny matchup in like 4-6-12 like 3 years ago or some shit. But I think Aravasi is just stronger. Maybe Asera can get the win with Egypt though. I'll put it as 1-1. Derby Lusitani, also pretty interesting, and I'm gonna put the pink because of the players. I want to see this get played out. I'm gonna go Lusitani 2-0 because I don't think Nervia has the best missile units to counter this. I think Lusitania can just take like again 6 cheap missiles or some shit and just like play for the swords. But Ragnar could 2-0 this. Awesome. Swaby Colchis, I think I'll 2-0, but I don't think this is a very good matchup. Actually, could be actually. Could be a good matchup. Pyramids though, it's gonna be kind of cringe. If it's on Nemo Senna, like this would be fun to go like 8 Javcav as, or like a 6 Javcav as Swaby. Just like play really wide with like Wodnaz and shit. Kind of fun. But I think I'll 2-0. Athens RDA. Older was 2-0. I don't think the matchup is very good. I think like actually it could be okay. I think RDA is probably stronger. Nabatea versus Athens. Actually, this could be a good matchup, but we should 2-0 it. I think it's actually a decent matchup. Athens should be better. Syracuse Iceni. Hmm. I want to see this. I know Ragnar's a big fan of Syracuse, so he could do it here, but I think Iceni will 2-0. But Syracuse has chances here for sure. Right? Epirus Nabatea. I want to give myself a 2-0, but I think Epirus is probably slightly stronger here. I think Oda will be able to manage it. I have some ideas for Nabatea, but I'm not sure I can really pull it off against a good player like Oda. He'll probably like maybe if I had a lot of time to practice it and like grind out the meta, I could win with like a theory advantage. But I don't think this is like one. I don't think I'll have enough theory advantage to win. Egypt versus Swaby, interesting. I think Asera will 2-0. Yeah, I think Asera will 2-0. I think he has Egypt's probably worse, but it can actually just win this matchup. And finally, Lusitania Samaria, kind of a meme. But on pyramids, anything is possible. But just like I don't think you stop Lusitania from taking like 7 or 8 cav and just running at you and killing you. But then you just use loose to horse archers, the forest, sand. People are gonna be tired. Kind of interested to see. I think this is gonna be like really unfun to play, to be honest, for both sides, and probably people will not enjoy it. But we have Lusitania 2-0ing this, but this actually could be interesting. So top 6 advance to the playoffs. So let me get the text box going. That aerial. Does this work? Big enough? And, oh, didn't do shit. Eh, probably. I'll make it a little bit bigger. All right, number 1 seed. Yeah, pretty sure that's gonna be me. No bias, of course. Number 2 seed up here on the other side of the bracket. I could like go through and see who I have winning more games, I guess. But I think it's gonna be close between Acer and Ulda. I'm gonna give it to Ulda, which means number 3 I think it will be Acer. Number 4 I think will be Ragnar. Number 5, who else is there? We got Loss, Arash, Rajni, Arash, Grajni, Ultra. Eh. Well, actually could be interesting for 5 and 6. Or Bobby, obviously. Oh, wait. Bobby, yeah, Bobby should be best of the rest, right? Like, logically. And I'd probably give this to Arash, but it could be close between, like, everyone else, I guess. Um, yeah, this could be close. I mean, this would be good. I think this matchup, Ragnar versus Bobby, would be really cool. And then Ulda Sarah, if Sarah wins, this would be cool. Me versus Ragnar will be probably not so cool, but the other semifinal will be cool, and then obviously finals is always fun. So let me do this. Ragnar, I'll get through that comfortably. Sir, who wins? Ola versus Sir. Damn, tough matchup in it. Let me check. I need to check the rules. I forget if the rules change for playoffs. It's like way in advance, but okay, I don't even think it, oh, it actually might be posted. Oh, okay. If very split each match, the final game will be played in battle. So it is split with random factions, which means kind of RNG. Eh, I'll give it to a Sir. I want the rematch, and I don't think I lose twice in a row. But that's my prediction. Okay, so we got the predictions out of the way. I'll definitely come back to this at the end of the season, and I'll save these two. Here, let me save the TWL season 15 prediction part 2. That way I can come back to these and I can just like mark how many I got right. Something. That'd be kind of cool. If I get over like 60%, I think I'd be pretty impressed, honestly. I think it's kind of hard to tell. But anyway, do I want to go through some matchups? Not really. I kind of said which I think will be good. If anyone has questions about why I think those matchups are good, feel free to ask me. I can just like message you or whatever when I'm thinking for them. But I don't really feel like going into the game and like talking about it for like an hour. It's gonna get too tired. But yep, those are my predictions. I thought this would be fun to do. Pretty fast thing. Good luck everyone in the season. This will be an interesting format for sure. Yeah, 30 minutes already. That's too fucking long. Anyway, yep. Good luck everyone. Have fun and see you on the battlefield because we get to play everyone. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. The Swaybe video is almost done filming part, and I have to fucking edit it, which could take another couple weeks. But hopefully in the next 2 weeks it'll be done. And I have break, so I'll be able to finish it over that. If not, sure. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See you next one. Peace. Goodbye.